So let's get started. Finding your calm with Adaptiv. And I have all the lovely products here with me, which Renee and I have been using over the past couple of months, just in transitioning, helping us transition from the Central Coast up to Queensland. So selling a home, buying a home, and shifting our young family to another state. It's certainly been a bit of a process, but we have been loving the Adaptiv range, and I'm going to chat a little bit about tonight about some of the science and practical ways we can use Adaptiv and get the most out of this awesome system that doTERRA has put together. So yes, it is finally time to find your calm. So firstly, I wanted to start off by just saying that, we can all experience mental health differently, or mental health concerns differently. We can't really say that if you experience this emotion, then this is how you're going to feel. We all interpret different situations and have different beliefs and conditions and chemical makeup to one another, that we can't really be too black and white about the subject. And this is often why the topic of emotions and mental health is often a bit of a grey space, and it becomes a bit complicated. Because there is no one single uniform solution that everybody can do. Everybody's different. So I just want to encourage you guys to have a little bit of a play in this space and just unconditionally love and accept the fact that we're all human. We all have these moments of stress and frustration and anger, sadness, grief, anxiety. All of these emotions are completely normal emotions to have. What isn't normal and what we want to reduce is chronic forms of these emotions, where they start to have health implications and show up in various parts of our body. And often, in our head, just feeling very cloudy and unable to make decisions, perhaps memory loss, feeling lethargic, etc. We all experience these emotions. I'm with you here. I do have a history of mental health challenges in my family. I do experience these from time to time, just like everybody. We're just talking about Facebook and how our new life in Queensland looks just so sweet, and everything does look sweet on Facebook, but we're still human, and we still do have challenges on a daily basis, especially with a 3-year-old and a 7-month-old working from home. It can be stressful. So just know that our brain, and this is a little excerpt taken from Harvard Medical, there's a lot going on there. There's millions of different chemical reactions going on at every single moment of every single day, all the time. It's highly complex. So we're never going to claim that we know exactly what's going on, but what we do know is there are some constants that we're aware of. So we can measure chemical changes, and we know autonomic responses and physiological changes when we are stressed, when we are anxious, when we are feeling these heavy emotions. But then there is some variables. What was the cause? Not everyone reacts to the same cause. It might be the smell of something that sets people off. It might be the sight of something happening in somebody's environment that sets them off. Being cut off by somebody on the road, that can really be a common trigger for a lot of people. But then for others, it's not. They just keep on cruising, wave, smile, and keep on going. Also the duration as well. So some people may get triggered by somebody pulling in front of them on the road, and they relive that situation, that stress, and bring that throughout the day, maybe even the week. That anger that they have to that person that cut them off on the road. Whereas for other people, it might just be the fact of, oh, yep, got cut off, say goodbye, done, move on. And then also the intensity as well, because we do all experience these emotions differently. So some important factors to know about mental health, and what we need as part of these constants that can be measured, and what we do know is that we need serotonin. This is the feel-good hormone. This is the hormone that we experience, or we get a release of when we eat chocolate. So this is why eating chocolate is so popular, right? Because it makes us feel good. So if we have a deficiency of serotonin, we can have intense feelings of sadness and even depression if we have a deficiency of serotonin. And the next thing that we also are aware of as part of these constants is GABA. So GABA is something that subdues intense activity or overstimulation in the brain, in our neurons, that can lead to anxiety. So when we have GABA present in our brain, then it actually relaxes that neural activity and allows us to be a lot more calm. And just thinking, leading into this presentation as an example, tonight, I'm holding a 7-month-old. I'm trying to get my 3-year-old to eat dinner, knowing that and also getting a phone call from Tracy going, hey, there's all these people waiting on the call for you. And so it's all happening. And then I'm also thinking in my head, I've got to get Indy to sleep before I have this call. Otherwise, Renee's going to be juggling Dylan, 7-month-old, trying to, breastfeed him, and having an overtired 3-year-old. So, the pressure was on. And so I'm thankful that I took my Adaptiv soft gels tonight with my dinner, with my lifelong vitality. And I can feel right now I am able to, to work through and handle those situations. It certainly does help. So another important factor of mental health is alkaloids. So, alkaloids is a very broad category of chemistry. And specifically, if you want to know the letters and the numbers, it's PD, E4 and 5-HT that are required to allow serotonin and GABA to be able to work in the brain, to be able to bring subdue anxiety, stress and anxiety, and bring this sense of calm. So it's these two alkaloids that are present in the Adaptiv soft gel that allow the serotonin and GABA to work particularly well. And then, of course, there's essential fatty acids, which we know that we get in lifelong vitality in our XEO Omega supplement, but we also get it in Adaptiv as well. And I'll talk a little bit about where those omega-3s and 6s come from. We all know this is why we're taking our omega supplements, right? It's for brain, cognitive, and neural health and support. So they're present as well in the Adaptiv soft gels. So at the moment, I'm talking more about the Adaptiv soft gels because I'm probably most passionate about the Adaptiv soft gels. I mostly use the oils internally and topically. I don't use them aromatically a lot, but when I'm applying them topically, I'm getting the aromatic benefits as well. So I don't really diffuse a lot. Renee is my wife. She is the one who is most diligent at putting the diffuser on every night. And we had the Adaptiv cranking when we're staying in our temporary accommodation at my mother-in-law's place, Renee's mum's, which was just a single room. We're all jammed in there in the one bed in our transition in selling and buying. But we had the Adaptiv going every night. And, I can say, even for someone who's not really an aromatic user, I definitely noticed the difference when we did have Adaptiv running during bedtime, especially. So the Adaptiv system, I've touched mostly on the capsules, but there's also the roll-on, which is pre-diluted with fractionated coconut oil, and it's basically just ready to roll. We love the touch range and the roll-ons just because they're just so easy to use. You just crack the lid open, especially with kids as well. They're all, the touch range is pre-diluted to a level that is safe for use on children too. And then you've got the straight 15 ml blend. And we'll go into a little bit about the ingredients of the oils, the singles that are in this blend. But this was mostly intended for putting in a diffuser. You don't have to just put it in a diffuser. I also use it topically as well. Perhaps for those days that I just need a little bit more oomph and I just want to get something neat on, I'll apply that onto the back of my neck, and I may or may not use fractionated coconut oil. Generally, I recommend using fractionated coconut oil with all of the neat oils, just to reduce skin sensitivity, the possibility of skin sensitivity, and also improve the way that the essential oils are actually absorbed into our tissues. So up to you how you want to use it, but the roll-on and the blend designed to use topically and aromatically. So the capsules, of which I've spoken most about, this is all about being proactive about mental health. We take the Adaptiv soft gels on a daily basis, and on the actual bottle, it says, take one capsule as needed. Now, I was just saying to my wife this morning, it's just like, oh, this is what I've found has worked for me when I'm taking the Adaptiv soft gels, which has been most days, is I will just do 2 soft gels and 2 CPTG soft gels as well. So if I fall asleep during this presentation, you know why. No, it doesn't make me fall asleep. I'm a pretty energetic person, but everybody's different. So what I suggest is just take 1 soft gel to begin with, and then and just check in with yourself to see how you feel. If you feel a sense of calm and it feels good, you're satisfied with the results, then maybe 1 is for you. Maybe if you feel extremely stressed or you don't really notice much from 1 soft gel, maybe try 2 the next time you do it, or just take 1 soon after. There's a little bit of self-testing required to find what works best for you. So the science behind some of the things that I touched on with how the brain works, we're going to now talk on about, just rehash some of how it works inside of this Adaptiv soft gel and what's in it. So we got the GABA, which is the gamma amino butyric acid. GABA is way easier. I'm just going to stick with that, right? But this is to reduce those feelings of anxiousness. And then we've got the scletium root, which helps gain the benefits of the serotonin and GABA. And this is those alkaloids that we referred to. So there's also the omega fatty acids that are part of mental health and cognitive neural health. And this comes from the ahi flower. And you'll find that in Adaptiv, even though I still do recommend that we take the Lifelong Vitality, this is just another boost and bonus source of omega-3 in the Adaptiv soft gel. So inside of the Adaptiv soft gels, it wouldn't be complete without essential oils, right? All of doTERRA's products have essential oils in them. And so there's a large amount of evidence with these oils that show the calming benefits of linalool. So we know lavender, old hat. This is the Swiss Army knife of essential oils. I put a couple of drops of this in my kid's bath every night, and it's very well renowned for having high levels of linalool, which is nice and calming. Little did we know that coriander and fennel also have higher levels of linalool as well. And then there's a bit of wild orange that's been chucked into the capsule as well. And this is just to lift mood and give the supplement a rounding off of the essential oils that go into this supplement. So as a result, we get or have the feeling of this tension reducing effect when we take the soft gels. Just keeping an eye on time here as well. So now we're going to move into a little bit of what I touched on about the other parts of the Adaptiv system. So the roll-on and the blend, the 15 ml blend. And just wanted to remind you guys about the importance of the aromatic benefits of the essential oils. Even though I said I'm not really much of an aromatic user, I am getting the aromatic benefits because I use them topically. I just don't really use a diffuser that much. But Renee's always got it cranking, so I'm getting the benefits anyway. So here's a lovely little reminder from Helen Keller about how the sense of smell, it travels with us and excites memories and various emotions throughout life as well. So we've got this balance between calming and uplifting essential oils in this blend. So it is different to the oils, the essential oils that go into the supplement. And you can see the 6 oils here that are shown in this image. And I'm going to go into a little bit more detail as to some of the scientific evidence behind these. Yeah, and Robin's the saying, yeah, I wish there was more than 30 in a bottle, which is the Adaptiv soft gels. Yes, absolutely. Hopefully they come out with a bulk pack, right? I think we all wish that was the case for some of the doTERRA products. So I know some of you who are tuning in tonight, then you know what the difference is, the doTERRA difference. I'm just going to touch on it briefly. Like for me, the doTERRA difference is doTERRA's focus on education and community and making a positive impact globally. Not just flogging off and selling a bunch of essential oils. It's got way more sense of purpose for me, and that's what I love about doTERRA. But there's also the quality testing to guarantee that there's a high quality product like no other, that we have the confidence that we can use aromatically, topically, and internally for therapeutic purposes for ourselves, our family, and our friends. So that is also the doTERRA difference, and they're very, very specific with their sourcing and where they get their ingredients from. So make sure that they have the levels of constituents and the therapeutic grade and quality that they're after. There can be massive differences in sourcing an essential oil that's just 5 kilometers down the road in comparison to a certain grove or area or farm that they source the essential oils from. So that's really cool, as well as all the other cool stuff that I mentioned about the doTERRA difference. But we all, especially this day and age, and this was me when I first started out on my essential oil journey, I just loved the science, and perhaps was a little too soon for everybody to immerse themselves so much in the science of essential oils. But now, people, and there has still been people like me who love the science, who ask about the clinical studies and the findings and the evidence behind it all. It's coming out more and more these days that people want to see the scientific evidence behind the essential oils and know that it's not just mystical voodoo. So doTERRA, of course, has done a study, and the good news is they will be doing more of these studies with the release of their prime meridian clinics that they have started to roll out across the US to begin with. But the good news for us, even though the clinics aren't in Australia, we're going to have all these great studies that we can say to people, hey, it does actually work. It's not just we're not just making this up. This is scientifically proven. There's studies out there. So this study that was performed by doTERRA, there was 2 rooms, one with Adaptiv diffusing and one without. Each participant, so there were groups of participants, were given a set of problems that involved math and word, and they progressively got more difficult as time went on. And throughout the course of this study, the clinical study, all of the test cases were given temperature monitors and heart rate monitors, so they could measure their stress levels and heart rate. And following the assessments, all the participants they answered a series of questions to provide feedback on how they felt throughout the test, and they also looked at the test results as well. So obviously these 2 rooms were swapped as well. So there was, they could get a clear and accurate measurement. It wasn't just a certain group of people that behaved in a certain environment versus another group of people that behaved, a certain way in a certain environment. They were also changed over. They didn't know which room had, Adaptiv, diffusing, etc. And they made it as like for like as possible in both environments. But in the Adaptiv room, they always measured a lower heart rate for the test case. And there was also better test results, which is probably my worst nightmare. I remember growing up in high school, when it come to test time, I just crumbled. Yeah. And it also came, it was also like that with sports as well. I wasn't like naturally talented sportsman, but when it came to like the serious higher level competition, I just started to crumble. I wish I had Adaptiv back then. So as part of this study, there was also an extended trial on the soft gels that showed those participants that were taking the soft gels showed the lowest levels of stress out of all of them. So that was a cool added bonus, and we can expect to see more of these clinical studies coming through, and also third-party studies as well that are performed by various scientific groups, etc. So these 3 products in the Adaptiv range are designed to be used together. As you can see on the left here, we've got the soft gel. This is a proactive approach and to be used on a daily basis. And then we have the essential oils, of which we can use proactively, but they're more used for when we're going through or are going to go into times of stress, and we can use them for short-term, quick results during times of stress. And that's because, you know, we're taking advantage of that limbic system, right? Yeah, the olfactory, and just getting results instantaneously. Perhaps when we take the soft gels, it's going to take about half an hour to fully digest and absorb all the goodness inside of those soft gels. Daily for the soft gels, and then, you know, reactively and proactively with the blends. So the oils that feature in our blend, we all know about wild orange and how it's uplifting for our moods, and how fantastic it is to put in water is my favorite use for wild orange. So there's no surprise that they've thrown wild orange into the blend, and we get to experience this uplifting effect. And this is the uplifting part of the Adaptiv blend that we get to enjoy the aromatic benefits of, and also topical. And then we have these two titans mixed in. So we spoke a little bit about lavender and linalool. We haven't spoken about copaiba yet. So we know that copaiba has the highest levels of beta-caryophyllene out of all the essential oils that we know of. And we know this is really calming and grounding, and has been claimed to be the alternative to CBD, and interacts very similarly to CBD with our endocannabinoid system inside of our bodies. So it's no surprise that they put copaiba into this blend, and there are some studies that have been performed by you can find on PubMed. I have these links here that I'll actually share at the end of the presentation. I'm unable to copy them right now, but I will do that at the end. And then we have spearmint and rosemary. So spearmint, which is renowned for its uplifting benefits. The first time Renee and I used spearmint, we diffused it, and we're actually doing some doTERRA work fairly late at night, and we were just powering away. We're just so energized, and we just looked up at the time, and I think it was like, you know, after midnight, and we were still so awake. So spearmint, if you want to energize and uplift a room, chuck that in a diffuser, and yeah, it really gets you energized. Also really good for speech, clarity of speech if you're going into public speaking. So rosemary, this is once again another old hat in aromatherapy. I've been told if you go to an aromatherapy school or an naturopathy school and you're in a testing room, then everyone's got rosemary on their tissue and they're smelling it throughout the testing room, just for memory recall. But it's also really good for alertness and focus as well, and also reducing stress too. And tastes pretty good on some roast veggies with thyme. And then we have the king of linalool, magnolia. Not everyone's cup of tea, so I've heard. I love it. It's sweet but earthy. It's a very unique scent, sourced from China, and it is amazing the amount of linalool this essential oil has in it. Also really good for, you know, supporting the heart and heart space as well. So you know, protection, energetic boundaries, etc. Remembering that this oil and the other oils I've mentioned are in Adaptiv. So, you know, you can apply them to points on your body where you would usually use magnolia for, you know, energy, you know, boosting or protection. So applying it over the heart space is a great place to apply the Adaptiv, as well as behind the ears on the mastoid bone and the back of the neck. We've got a bunch of nerve receptors on the back of our neck, and it's also a direct path to our brain. So we're going to get the benefits straight away as soon as we apply it on the back of our neck, mastoid bone, and behind our ears. That's my favorite place to apply the essential oils topically. And of course, we've got the bottoms of the feet as well. I feel it's a bit of a shame, a bit of a waste to put Adaptiv on the bottoms of our feet. If I was going to do that, then I would probably put the neat one on the bottom of my feet. But I still love balance. Love my balance. It's my staple bottom of the feet essential oil that I use on a daily basis. So then we have NEROLI, which is all about supporting us emotionally as well. It's really good for post and prenatal stress as well. So this actually comes from the citrus family too. And there's like 3 parts of the citrus tree that are extracted for different properties and different essential oils. So this, I believe, is taken from the bud of the citrus plant, and that's how we get NEROLI. So it's really calming, especially for that pre and postnatal period, stress management, etc. And then we have liquid amber, which is a product that isn't a permanent line or a single that you can get in the doTERRA range. It's often referred to as sweet gum. And once again, surprise, surprise, this is a calming essential oils, and it will promote a restful environment. I would love to smell this one as a single, but unfortunately, we're only getting it mixed in, or fortunately as well, we're getting it mixed into our Adaptiv blend at the present. So there you have the Adaptiv system and a little bit about each of the ingredients in the blend and the science behind the capsules, of which I'm so in love with, and can't wait to help as many people as we can come into contact with this Adaptiv range. Now, one objection I do hear people say at present, especially in Australia, is, oh, you can only get it from the US. Don't let that put you off, because as you can see here, I've done a little screenshot of the prices that we get from the US. So when you go into your cart and you fill your LRP, your monthly order, or do a standard order, or your enrollment order, however you do it, and you choose to do a US order, you'll see USAU. So what that means is it's US dollars, but it's for us Australians as customers. So in Australia, we pay $45 for the Adaptiv blend, and for the soft gels, we pay $46.75. So that's US dollars. So you're probably at this stage, you're probably looking at around about $65 to $70 for the Adaptiv soft gels. But what you can also do is use points. So if you have a doTERRA account and you're on LRP, then you're doing over 50 PV order each month, then you're going to be earning points, and you can use your points to get the soft gels and the blends. And the way that works is because it's US dollars, then it uses that amount in points, and we get it for free. So that's even better when you can get stuff for free. We all love free stuff. And then, of course, you can get the whole system for under $100, but you can't use points to get the whole system. And the reason being is because they already discount that. So you can see that if we do a quick little bit of maths, that you're saving around about $10 when you buy the system all together as one. Sorry, $20. You save close to $20, about between $15 and $20 with some quick maths in my non-maths brain. So you save already, and that's why you can't get that one for free and use your points, but you can do it individually, and it's up to you. You don't have to get the whole lot. as a system. It is designed to be used as a system. If I was to choose one product out of the whole range, I would choose the soft gels. If I was to choose two products out of the range, I would choose the touch blend and the soft gels. And that's purely just because I use the oils more topically than I do aromatically. And I love how convenient the touch roller is. And it's only $24. That's pretty cool. 24 US, that is. So I'm hoping you guys are starting to feel like you can find your calm, and you feel like you're a little bit more informed with some of the science behind the adaptive system and how it works in our very highly complex mind of ours, mind and environment, behaviors, conditions, so many beautiful variables in life that we get to play with in this experience we call humanity, and do the best that we can to master those emotions and those challenges that are thrown at us from time to time. So I am, if you are new to doTERRA and you don't have a wholesale account, I can help, and I am contactable at byron@pureoils.com.au, or you can Facebook PM me. Just do a search for Byron Twilly, you'll find me. Or you can give me a call as well. You'll find all my details on our website, pureoils.com.au, or our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/pureoilsoz. And even if you have any questions, it's not just taking orders, then I am more than happy to help you guys with anything that you have to throw at me in the way of essential oils and emotional health, etc. It's something that I'm really passionate about and love helping people with. Here's a little picture of my crew, who have already grown up and changed so much since this photo.
That's beautiful.
That this is what it's all about.
That's gorgeous.
So I'm going to thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to stop the recording. So those who are listening back to this, thank you for listening, and we hope to see you soon. And